Hey, this is Dr. Fred with Elite Coaching, and we're here today with my good friend, Dr. Chris Zaino, because you are speaking at our annual seminar, October 19, 20 in Chicago, and the theme is Become Unstoppable. So again, hey, you certainly represent someone who has a vision and just moves, man, just takes step after step. And we have a bunch of other unstoppable leaders, Billy DeMoss, definitely unstoppable. Ben Greenfield, Roberto Monaco, Neil Cohen. Who else did I forget? Dan
Papa.
Pompa. We got the Italian faction showing up again, which is awesome. Hey, Greenfield's even part Italian, even though his name doesn't show.
Right. We'll
It's
let
going to be
him
an
slide.
amazing weekend. What's that?
We'll let him slide. We'll see.
Yeah, he's got to show his card. But it's going to be an amazing weekend. You guys just register because you'll be different when we're done on Saturday night. So yeah, that's the theme, brother. I mean, you've definitely represented that in the profession and now out of the profession. So
yeah, you're so right. Becoming unstoppable. It's just the 1% difference. And I really think it starts with first healing things first. So I was reading this really cool book.
Look at that.
Look at this, dude.
Isn't that amazing? That's thick.
In stores and Amazon soon by you. So anyway, it's about healing yourself. So in your healed section, I realized that in order to become unstoppable, we have to heal the promises that we broke to ourselves. We have to heal we broke agreements with ourselves. And it's like it's inward. That's what my whole hero message is. It's like I gotta resurrect the hero first. So it's like, man, I broke promises with myself. That's the worst person you can break a promise with is yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you live with yourself. So first you got to heal that. And it builds a pattern of a person who just doesn't stick to things. Number one. Then number two, when you do make a decision to do whatever it is, making a decision is cool. And then what Dr. Fred taught me is when you make a decision, you have to trade some type of currency. So it's time or money. But time or money just means you have good intention. So if you paid to go to this or that just shows good intention. Nothing magically happens when you pay or give time. But then where the magic happens is when you get to the point where you make the decision, you change the exchange of commodities, and then you choose and you decide to make your choice work no matter what. Because I know it worked, like Elite Coaching works for thousands of doctors. So it's already on the table, but you have to choose to say, no matter what, I'm going to make it work for me. And that means that all exit strategies have to go away. And I can tell you, Dr. Fred, anytime I felt a bit of a struggle in moving forward in any area of my life, or even some things I'm going through now, I could always look back and I had a door cracked open. I had a 1% exit strategy. I can even say it right now with my office in the Woodlands, Texas. Total transparency, guys, you get from me. It's like, for me to move forward with this hero message, I still have a foot in Houston. And I know that if I close that door in Houston, but it's security for me, right? If I close that door, I'd be forced to become unstoppable. So you go through those times. You just got to make a decision and move. So they are some keys that you'll learn about becoming unstoppable in anything you do. Life, health, finances, relationships, whatever it is you want to be. You could be it all. Like, you don't have to switch hats. You could have everything. You could have it all.
Well, and you know what, man, such great points, of course. It's, brilliance pours out of you in one-liners and ideas. You definitely need to go back and listen to this again and listen to what Chris just said. And if I can interpret that a little bit and apply it to you, because I know how you live, the first thing he says, when you break agreements with yourself, that's the worst thing, because you're breaking your core values. That incongruency tears you up from the inside out. The key is, and that's what you're more powerful than you think, is we're divine beings, but our humanity makes mistakes, right? And so the thing is, always come back to the reference point of your divinity, which means you don't have to judge the fact that you broke an agreement with yourself. And that's what you're great at. You say, okay, maybe I did, but you know what? I'm going to let it go and I'm going to make another choice. Yes. And then you're so great at just letting it go and moving forward.
Well, it's forgiving. You're so right. You're so right. I'm glad you brought it up. Like, when you realize, man, I broke these agreements with myself, or I broke promises with myself. You're right. It's not coming from a judgmental right or wrong way. It's owning it and being very forgiving and appreciating. It's like, yeah, you know, I chose that, but there's no condemnation. It's just like you're just healing it. You're free and you're touching it with love so you can move forward. But I think a lot of people, Dr. Fred, they stay in that like condemnation, judgment. And of course, through teachers and preachers and dogmas and religious institutions, guilt and judgment tend to be an underlying factor in the way we were raised, or even superstition and tradition. So when you're able to just touch it with love and realize, listen, there's no right and wrong, I'm divine, and the choices I made always worked out for my good. Yep. You know, it's like I'll never get it wrong, you know, along that journey to be able to do it. So yes, I appreciate that. There's no judgment there at all.
Well, and I have a good buddy of mine, and I know that you live by this too, really powerful guy, chiropractor, over 1,000 a week. But, you know, he said, no matter what I do, even when I screw up really bad, I created it so I was successful. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Wow. I mean, yes, exactly. Because there's contrast, Dr. Fred. Like people think like, it's not about living like what people think is a perfect life. It's like embrace it all because it's contrast. And in the contrast is when we have clarity of what we don't like, but that gives us clarity of what we do like. So it really intensifies the desire of what we do want. But a lot of people focus on what they don't. And so they're tracking that. So looking back, every moment of during that time when I didn't like it, I thought it was uncomfortable, I thought it was unfair. It was a contrast in my life that served to define and give me an appreciation for something that I really didn't have before. So it just kind of clarified my vision.
Right. Nice. Now, to add to that, and coming back to you again on those 2 points, is once you decide, okay, you know what, I need to make a new choice, your new choice is a must decision. Mm-hmm. That's why everybody talks, when you talk about Dr. Chris Zaino, you talk about people compliment speed of implementation. You know, and it's funny because, I mean, I coach chiropractors, and I'm just saying this is a fact. There's no judgment in there. I could text you, and I get a return text in 5 minutes. And this is when you're practicing, seeing over 2,000 a week. Yep. You know, and then you text, I'll call other people, and it may take them a day or two, and they're at 100 a week. You know what I mean? It's like that's what gets you stuck. Like you see something, you do it. Decisions are like triage. You make a decision. It's a must decision. It's done. So you're not carrying it around on your shoulders either.
Yeah, I believe it's just like it's evident in all of humanity, even coming just in the terms of time and money. You know, if something's very important to you and you have your priorities on what is important in your life, to me, it's relationship with you, Dr. Fred. Right. If that's a top priority, I find the time and the money. Like even if I don't have time, or it's in like I'll find it because it's important to me. You know, when a patient's like they don't have the money, but they found the money for the Starbucks. So everybody, even when it's not, remember guys, even when it's not there in the account, even though you're like, I need 25 hours today, even though when it's not there, when you want and desire, it's always there. So when Dr. Fred, like I know people who text me, that's my bat phone. These are people that mean that relationship capital means so much to me. So I make it a priority. So it's kind of it's not on a subconscious level. There's intention there.
Yeah, no question. Well, and that's it, man. And those are the 2 main points. I mean, when we get to October, you're going to speak for an hour, and there's more gems in this last 10 minutes, or however long that's been, that if you just took this 10 minutes, man, that's a game changer right there. So I'm fired up to, number one, have you there. You speak at all our, just about all our annual seminars. So, and I know that you're very specific about what you choose, so I appreciate it. And then on those 2 notes, number 1, forgive yourself. Number 2, make a must decision. Hey, if you haven't been to Elite Seminar before, they truly are game changers. And I just love to sit in the audience. So it's okay. You don't have to judge yourself. Just go ahead and sign up. We do have the early bird pre-registration fee going on for $395 right now. It is going to go up shortly. So just go to elitecoachingllc.com and register and make a must decision.
And let me add one thing to that, Dr. Fred. It's like I've known in my life the greatest things and the greatest unknowns that happened in my life is when I went to a place that it might not have been convenient or maybe it wasn't my schedule, but when I went ahead and did it, you know, something happened at that event, something happened at the seminar, someone said something that changed my perspective in that second, that I realized when I would come home and see how that changed the trajectory of my life or the decisions I make, I always realize the cost of inaction. Like if I didn't go, holy cow, I know, like, so I I feel the cost of inaction. Like, wow, I'm so glad I went. Because a lot of times you think, whatever the price is, you're thinking, well, what's my ROI on that? But the thing is, like, the ROI might be the conversation you had in the hallway that changes a paradigm, a relationship that's made, or a technique you learn that changes your whole entire practice. Like, just the fact that you took the step and you were committed and you made it a must and you went there, you're open to the unknowns of the whole entire event, and that's what shifts you. And you realize, and only then do you feel the cost of inaction.
Right.
If I didn't go, holy cow. And then when you feel the cost of what it would have been in action, when you feel that pain, like, I would have totally missed out on this, holy shit, then you will never make that decision. You'll always, when that opportunity comes, you don't blink. You go for it because you know in the opportunity. Joe Dispenza's talking, like, we live in Groundhog Day. You guys wake up, you do the same thing in your practice every single day. You're recycling the same day and you're getting the same results. You know why? You're just shoveling the same day in. So when you have events like these, it creates an unknown, a different pattern every day.
Interruption.
And in that unknown, in that interruption, is the nutrients and all the presents and gifts to create a new life. Because it's not the same repeated thing. So search for, like, this creates a break in the pattern, a new something in your life that's not your same Groundhog Day. And in the unknown is all the nutrients for your new life.
Oh, man, that's so rich right there. And, you know, I will say, after doing a bunch of these semi-annuals for the last 10 years, you know, I noticed on Monday on the coaching calls, the people that went have solutions. The people that didn't go are still talking about their problems. And that's exactly what you said, because when you don't go, you don't even know the cost because you don't know what you don't know. You're still stuck on Groundhog Day talking about problems, where, boom, those people that went, man, there's solution, excitement.
And let me add to this, and guys, this is good stuff. It's like, when you go, and I can tell you this for a fact, when you go to this elite event, and you got to be prepared for this. Once you pay for that ticket, you actually lost the right to complain that Monday morning. And what I mean that you lost the right to complain is because if I show up and you're dealing with anything in your life, if you're dealing with mindset issues, practice issues, relationship issues, do you understand the power of the group there? Like, you could ask me anything. You could go up to Dr. Fred and say, listen, can I talk to you? I'm having a rough time balancing my practice and I'm having trouble with my marriage. Like, you have no idea that the answer to every single one of your solutions in any area of your life is going to be in that room. Yep. And the fact that if you go back Monday with any complaints whatsoever, you have no right to complain, because the answer to, unless you enjoy the complaints, unless you enjoy the drama, and sometimes you get addicted to that pattern. But if you want to break free of that and say, listen, I want my solutions answered, and all the things that you're stuck in, the answer to your question is in that room, on that stage, the person next to you, me or Dr. Fred. Like, we have the solution, or we come together as a collective mind and create that solution. So that's why Monday, when you buy that ticket, you officially remove the right to complain that Monday morning.
Yep, that's exactly correct. And I know in the last one you spoke at was a year ago. Yeah. Man, the calls that I got from the people that went, that gave testimonials to the thoughts that you imparted on them that changed their life. And I mean, anybody knows Dr. Chris, man. You guys follow him. You know that one-liner can change your life. And we have a whole lineup of speakers. So just don't even, I mean, if you think, then there's your first thinking error. Just go ahead and do it, because I guarantee it will be a game changer. So, hey, I'm looking forward to just sitting in the audience, hanging out with you. We go out to dinner too. So one of the reasons we haven't in Chicago is going to Carmine's Saturday night. So everybody's welcome. And we'll see you guys there. So thanks, son, Dr.
Pumped. See you soon.